Hi from the Freebirds.
Hi!
Hi, I'm Chris, and we're a family of 7 converting a school bus into an RV. And this video is going to be about welding. Make sure you subscribe and check out our other videos. The last video we just did was about closing in the sides of the bus after we lifted the roof up. And the next video we got coming up after the welding video is going to be fabricating and closing in the back side of the bus. But mainly what this video is going to be about the actual welding process. Prior to doing the school bus conversion, I had never done any welding before. So whenever we cut and lifted the roof, I had a buddy help me out, making sure that the frame was welded in really good. And then we took a really long break in between doing a lot of things. And that break was for me to learn how to weld. The main reason why I wanted to learn how to weld was so that we could, as a family, contribute mostly to this project. I really didn't want to have a bunch of other people involved in it. I wanted us to do it together. So I took the time, watched some YouTube videos. Chucky 2009 was one of the guys I watched on YouTube. You can find him. I'll try and get a link to him down below. Also, Alex Welding. He does barbecue grills out of Louisiana. I'll put a link to his channel down here as well. But I watched the YouTube videos. I read a couple books. Practiced a lot, and messed around with a lot of metal and welding and things like that. When I first started off messing around with it, we had an arc welder here on the property, so I grabbed it, messed around with some sticks of welding there, and this is one of the first things I did. I grabbed just some random metal and put them on here and just started striking here and putting welds on the metal, putting this together, beating it with hammers, seeing how well I could get it to stay. You can see here, like I actually went through, I don't know if you can see it or not, but I actually went through the metal and had a big gap here. So it wasn't really going too well. The arc welding in general, I wasn't really having fun and enjoying it. I actually almost abandoned the whole process of welding there for a little bit. And then I went ahead and dished out a little bit of money and got a MIG welder. And what I have here is a Harbor Freight Chicago electric flux 125. So basically I can run flux core through this. There's no gas. So it's all shielded flux core right through here. Just run it right through the nozzle. Got a grounding strap. Plug it in. Pop. Go. I didn't start off with this one. I actually bought a 90 amp from Chicago Electric. It lasted for quite a bit of fabrication, and then it stopped working on me. Luckily, Harbor Freight has really good warranty, and they had discontinued the 90 amp by the time I got back to replace it, so they upgraded me to the 125. Once I got the MIG welder, everything just really started making sense and jiving. It was still looking ugly, but everything was like I did some of these things here just playing around. I mean, real solid. I was able to get really good welds in there. Again, some splatter as I was learning what to do and temperatures and speeds and stuff like that. And that's the big thing so far as if you've never welded before like me. Again, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I read books, did a lot of practice. I have a couple buddies that are welders, so once I got some stuff kind of put together, I invited them over to take a look at it to see before I continued going, making sure that it was structurally sound and the way it was supposed to be. You know, a big thing to keep in mind when you're welding is it can look good but not be good. So you want to make sure you know what you're doing, and whenever you penetrate, you know, you want to penetrate both metals and fuse them together. You don't want to just get surface there because that'll vibrate later, especially on something like a bus where it's going down the road hitting bumps and stuff like that. Over time, that'll start vibrating and cracking and breaking. So you really want to make sure you penetrate and fuse both metals together. You know, so take your time and really practice and do that right. I think some tips that was hard for me when I first started welding. You know, I think I was going too fast. A couple of things. One is your speed, and two, you always want to be. Some people call it, like, some people do figure eights. Some people do small, like oval type circles as they progress along. Some people do zigzags. Whatever you figure out to do. I was doing small oval-like circles as I was progressing along, but I was doing them too wide and too fast. So I ended up having a lot of splatter, a lot of issues with that. Once I actually got myself to slow down and take my time, you know, it's not going to hurt anything to sit there on it just a little bit longer and go. I had started noticing that everything was working out a lot easier, was performing a lot better, and I wasn't having as many issues with getting my welds together. Another key thing that I had to get was I had to get the stop watching the spark as it was welding, you know, and you'll notice like there's a little pool as you're welding and the metal's melting, it's coming together into a pool. That's really what you need to watch. And as you move your gun, your nozzle along, the pool will follow the heat, and that's where your weld will, you know, will be. And, I'm no expert, you know. I've done quite a bit of stuff, and I've had fun doing it. I'm still learning, but I wanted to give you guys a little example. I just got some scrap metal here, and I was just going to weld a little bit of it over to some metal, and you can take a look at how the Chicago Electric Flux 125 welder works. So basically what I did with this stuff is I just tacked it on a little bit, just one little spot, held it for a few seconds, let it get tacked into place. That way it's, I mean, I could always take it off, you know, if I pulled real hard, but at least it holds it enough that whenever I go to weld it on good, it's not moving around on me as if, you know, as if it was just metal on metal and being pushed by the wire. So now that I've got them tacked on, I'll go ahead and kind of get them welded into place really good. I mean, nice little piece of art there. But that's it. I mean, it's just taking your time, going slow, making sure it's on there really good. You know. And you know, I did hours of this. I mean, I think I was practicing with stuff and playing around with things. Really making sure that I felt really comfortable with my ability to weld. What, 3 months? You know, I mean, and it was kind of a process, but you know, but it's a skill that I can take with me from now on. You know, now I can do all kind of, you know, cool things as we go. If I ever break down while we're on the road, I can pull out the welder and I can help, you know, put something back together to live back to civilization if we're away from, you know, a city or something. So you know, and it's something I can teach my kids and you know, and show them how to do it. So, you know, which, you know, I had my 11-year-old daughter Hope, you know, after I started welding and, you know, I fabricated the back end of the bus and got it all closed in, I had to go up to the front of the bus, and we're doing this cab over thing, which required a lot of fabricating and welding and crossbars and everything else. And she came to me and she was interested in learning how to weld. So I started teaching her and showing her how to do it, and she actually welded most of the front part of the bus where the cab over is in the fabrication, and that's a couple more videos coming down the line. But you can see, I mean, she was right up there on top welding it, having fun with it, and I want to let her talk to you about that a little bit and tell you how that kind of experience was for her. Introduce yourself, talk a little bit about some stuff.
Okay.
start with I'm Hope.
I'm Hope.
It says it right here.
Yeah, it does. I've been watching my dad weld for a while. I wanted to learn because it's a good skill and it looks really fun. So he taught me. I had a few problems at first. I was going too slow and my ovals were too big. I had been progressing on that a little bit. And another video you'll see I weld on the front loft. I welded all of that, most of it actually. He did some of it. It. But I did that. Also, things you'll need for welding. Welding gloves, welding helmet, and it's not if you want your clothes to go on fire, you cannot wear cotton, but if you want your clothes to stay not on fire, wear cotton, 100% cotton, nothing else. But yeah, I'm going to show you a little bit of my welding here. I'm going to weld this to this and show you.
You also need a welder.
Oh, yes, that's very important. You will not get anywhere without a welder. There we go.
Another thing I forgot to mention earlier, which is really important, and I've actually got it set up a little bit different, but whenever you're doing your welder, you want to make sure you have your grounding clamp. Normally, you would clamp it to whatever metal you're working with material, which is what we do outside when we're on the bus. But in here, I have this piece of metal just kind of ground down so it's conductive, and then we can just put our metal right on top of it and work with it without having to connect to the metal each time. Makes it a lot easier. So.
Oh, one thing to not do after you're welding: do not touch it.
Don't touch it.
Yeah, for those who do not know that, do not touch it.
Yep.
But that's it. It's like I said, I'm still learning.
Oh, it looks good. Now you got a little, I mean, this is the start of a piece of work. You got a little house on a prairie.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Now you just need to like weld a fence.
Yep.
A wall.
Well, bye. Oh wait. Make sure you stay tuned for new videos. Please subscribe.
Say thank you.
Thank you. Holla. Bye. See you later. Don't.
Oh.
What?
Get out of the shot!
What am I supposed to be doing?
This is weird. I want to look this way, and it's over there. So I've got to like, why am I facing that way?
I'm not moving the camera.
I want to face it this way. Why am I not
Then
facing
face
this?
that way and look with your head. Just move your head.
This is weird. Who does that?
It looks better.
I gotta move the whole table.
Angle.
It's weird. Look at it.
It's fine. Go.
Okay. Whatever.
Being creative here. Don't breathe.
You're the one that walked over there and knocked it off.
There. That should do it.
We should get plenty of sound from over there now. Thank you for watching our videos. Make sure you subscribe. Boom, boom, boom.
This is gonna break. Okay.
Oh.
What is he doing? along the way. The clone video.
Now, whenever you weld that on there, there will be a house. See?
Okay.
Like that? You want to weld it like that?
Yep.
Do 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 do.